My name is Marvin.
My name is Ira, and
we are
too
too
niche. Today's episode is going to be about limiting beliefs and the inner child. And on the podcast, we like to talk about all things metaphysical,
parenting,
and living life as authentically as possible. This is a very important topic for us. You might have seen other videos. If not, go ahead and do that. But we've kind of brushed a little bit on how your inner child is your truest identity and how trauma creates these limiting belief systems that you have and you carry throughout all your life. And I just saw a TikTok where this guy was basically saying that he feels like he wasted all his life. And
he said he said he bought into other people's BS.
Yeah, and he was believing their belief systems. And this is why we decided to create this channel, is because we've had this realization of like life being so short, life being so important, life being your own. And it's like you cannot live it under other people's standards, under their terms, under their rules, because it's your life.
You only have one of them, and you need to live it the way you want.
Yeah.
The moment you start doing that, it will work out for you. They've kept feeding you ideas telling you that it won't, but it will.
Yeah.
And you need to have that faith. And to the I want to address that guy who made that video. You know, they took and anyone else who's feeling that way, they took everything from you, and now you have to take it back. And you will do that slowly, however you need to. You can grieve as long as you need to, feel everything you need to feel. But at the end of the day, you guys have to be the one to just stand up and say enough is enough. And guys, I'm not gonna lie, the situations that a lot of people are in are probably crazy, but you decide when you want to take it back. If you're having issues believing in yourself, just manifest the next possible reality that you can believe in.
That's a beautiful way of putting that. Because again, like, despite all of the trauma, all of the hardships that you had to go through in life, you dictate how your story is being written. And it's so important to learn how to believe in yourself and rewire your brain into believing that I am not where I came from. Me and Marvin both came from very dysfunctional families, and I came from a very abusive home. And it's
It's okay. Be vulnerable. This is what people need to see, because it's us trying to be vulnerable. We're constantly being told as a society that we can't be vulnerable and we can't talk about these things, but you should be. And we come from very dysfunctional families. I can go into a lot of stories, and if you follow us through this journey, you'll hear a lot of the stories from our lives. You know, it is very difficult. We all have a lot of baggage that we carry with us, and you'll slowly learn to unpack it. It is possible to unpack it all. Trust in that.
And grieving doesn't stop, like sometimes it comes back and it can haunt you, and all you have to do is just move through those emotions, because you can't numb it. There's no way to work your way around it and just try to be positive all the time, because it doesn't work that way. You have to allow yourself to have the space to release all these emotions.
And get familiar with that space, because you will probably be revisiting it a lot of times throughout your life. So get familiar, get comfortable in that space.
Because when you are building from that space and you allow yourself the emotions to flow through your body, you give yourself that safe hug that you never got when you were a child, that's when life drastically changes, is when you're kinder to yourself. And I know a lot of people go all this time in their life not being kind to themselves, hating themselves, and hating yourself is only going to put you in a hole. There's no There's no shortcut to life. There's no faking it till you make it. It's literally working and sitting with yourself through the hardest times. So then that way you can see how resilient you are and give yourself more credit and more kindness,
more grace. Because it's those small victories that eventually lead you to where you want to be.
Yeah.
And it's when you realize that that journey of getting to where you want to be is actually what's so beautiful about living.
Yeah.
Because it's a culmination, kind of like when you see your nieces, nephews, whatever your family members, or when you graduated from school. It's a culmination. Once you see it happen, you can look back on all the memories, and then you just continue living life, live doing things you want to do.
Yeah.
Like if you want to travel, you find your way to travel and you build up to it. You could do that. Like that's not something that is limited to a certain person.
Yeah. And in this journey, when you do decide to do that big thing, just go for it. Go for it without a timeline. Go for it without knowing what's on the other side, because it's going to be a magical journey. You're going to learn so many things about yourself. And I say this time and time again.
It's a leap of faith, because there are going to be so many times where you're doubting, where that little bit of doubt will enter. But you have to kind of rewire you'll first work on your belief systems, and then you work towards your thoughts, and then it'll be a lot more easier to make all that noise, that external noise, go away.
Mm-hmm.
It will hit hard. Everything hits so hard, but man, you're reclaiming your space, and that's all that matters. And if people don't like you claiming your space, then you have to realize that those people don't want what's best for you. And you have to kind of keep a boundary. And it's going to suck if it's with people like family that you really love, but keep that boundary firm, because you have to focus on the now.
Mm-hmm.
And that's all we can do, guys.
Let's jump into the limiting beliefs that may come with your childhood. When you come from an unstable home, your belief system is that the world is unsafe and unstable as well. And it's so hard to let go of that belief, because then you approach world in the lens where like everybody is out to get you.
You're constantly thinking about the worst that could happen, when that's like not the case 99% of the time.
If you expect a car accident to happen, a car accident will happen. And you're operating at a place of fear, and you're not allowing the opportunities that you want to come to you, because you are so scared of the possibilities. What are some money habits that you picked up on from your parents? Because I know that they operate from a place of scarcity, being that they're immigrants.
Yeah, I know a lot of other probably Latinos can relate to this, and immigrant children can. My parents, when you come to a country with absolutely nothing, it's very difficult, and I can only imagine what they went through. So they found stability. I mean, my parents are homeowners. They have stability, but they've been in survival mode since the moment they decided to leave their country. But the time was so different, and they get kind of locked into survival mode. So a lot of it was, we have to keep saving money for the next bad thing that's gonna happen to us. And it was like, and that carried over into me up until my early 20s. Like always thinking about saving money for the next bad thing that can happen. But in reality, it should have been saving money because we want to live. Mm-hmm. And that was some of the stuff. So like bad financial things, like my dad made a lot of bad financial decisions, and he kind of pushed those ideas that everything that you do financially, like if it's not just putting it into a bank, is a negative thing. And so all those kind of decisions, having a scarcity mindset about like, oh, if we're spending too much on this, it's automatically bad. when, you know, we should be happy that we're spending money on things that we want to enjoy. Like, you know, my son wants to watch Disney Plus. That's fine. He
You
can
get the
watch
Disney
Disney.
Plus. You want McDonald's? Get
You
McDonald's.
can have McDonald's if when it's right, right?
Yeah.
Like when it's right. We don't obviously want to like a push like a negative diet or anything onto him.
Yeah.
But yeah, when it's right, why not? Like, hey, I need more space for my iPhone because I need to record more. I have the money to go buy a iPhone storage. I'm gonna do that. And that scarcity mindset is kind of what holds you back from living your life.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's so funny because my mom is well, my parents are, well, my mom, Puerto Rico is a part of America. So my
You're right.
mom, she's an immigrant and she came over here as well, but she lives a completely different, like she has a completely different view of money. And I think it's because in her head, I want to live, but there's not enough put aside for,
Balance.
yeah, there's no balance. And so when I met you, I learned that there's a time and a place. And again, like this is why I say you are a catalyst to my growth as well. And I have an example of what a scarcity mindset looked like in my family. It came with food, and we were not allowed to leave the table without completing the whole plate of food.
Oh.
And in turn, I eat now even though I'm full and my stomach hurts, you know? I don't have a balance between, okay, enough is enough. I want to eat everything. And so it kind of led to me overeating and gaining weight, and I don't have a boundary. I don't know that limit. And so now I'm trying to pace myself and learn that balance.
With my dad, it became almost like a punishment that I had to eat my food, which like sopa de gallina, which is chicken soup, like he would like tell me you can't leave the table unless you finish that.
Mm-hmm.
And I was being told that in like an aggressive way as a child, so it made me automatically I don't enjoy soup. I really don't. And kind of having to unlearn that, yeah, I definitely understand like where those that place of scarcity kind of seeps into your life.
Yeah. And in the real world, I see people who have ideas of wanting to leave their job, pursue their passions, and people are in the comments or people are telling them, well, you can't quit your job without a plan because the economy is so bad. You won't get another job. People, there are billions of corporations out there ready to hire you at any given moment. And we have to stop pretending like these opportunities are limited.
Opportunities are there.
Yeah, they're limitless.
They're there for you to take. And you know, there are moments like that work where we're being told that there are less opportunities, but that shouldn't keep you from pursuing what you want to do.
Yeah. And in the same coin, let's say you're working a job for years and years and years and you're waiting for a promotion, but they're not giving it to you. Look for a promotion somewhere else. Look for a place that could honor your skill set and provide you with the recognition that you need.
In our last video, we discussed that your most aligned self was when you were a child.
Yeah, and so what that means is basically whoever you were and your identity from when you were a child is your truest self. Think back to the time when you were free and you were playful and you didn't care about the perceptions others put onto you. That is your truest self. You were brave. You were able to just be who you are without apology. And then as life went on, you were taught to tone it down. And it's so sad that when people grow up, our first thought is, I wish that I was a child again. Remember when we were a child and we were young and carefree? You can still be that person, and you just need to reframe your mind into believing that all those things are still a fact. All the joy that you felt can still be found in the little things around you.
Yeah. Your inner child is still you. And sometimes you have to heal your inner child.
In what ways were you healing your inner child?
Well, I remember one important phase in my journey was catalyzed by Ira when she told me it really hit hard when she asked me, what is something that you wanted to do when you were a kid. And it never occurred to me to follow through with that. And so I started thinking about all the things that I did want to do when I was a child. And one of them was like something, like make YouTube videos. And then others were like, oh, why don't you start learning how to play music? And so I'm like at a point in my life where I'm like, okay, why don't I?
Yeah.
Like, I want to live, I want to be happy, and I'm like, why don't I? Like, I forgot about that part of myself completely.
So you're saying this is a healing thing, like for you?
100%.
Oh.
100%. Yeah.
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 Yeah, and it's like we're at a good point where it's like we can finally believe and trust ourselves.
Yeah, we've had stability. We've outgrown, like discussed earlier, we've outgrown those limiting beliefs, and it's time to live.
Yeah.
That's all you can do.
Yeah. When I was a child, I was always wanting to read books. This is so funny. I've always been like attracted to the occult stuff. So like
cool.
horoscopes and spirituality. I was just very obsessed with the paranormal side of things, and I knew that growing up it was so not taboo, but like just not normal.
A little taboo.
A little?
Depending, like, if you come from a religious background, yeah.
Oh, well, I kind of grew up, well, with the culture that I grew up around, that was like a normal thing. And
it was okay to like do horoscopes and all that?
Yeah, because it was so deeply ingrained into our culture, where we had actual medicine healers who would come in with herbs and stuff, like witch doctors.
Whoa, bro, so you wanted to essentially go back to your roots?
Yeah.
And what kept you from doing that?
Because I lived in America. And like it's sad because like I grew up in the Philippines, but I also grew up in America, and I kind of just bounced back and forth, that I never had the sense of stability, and I didn't know my true identity, and I think that's what shaped everything. And then I think up until around like 2017, 2016, that's when I started picking it back up again, and I'm still trying to incorporate like my own culture and honoring that, but also picking up everything else that I kind of know already and what was taught.
Yeah, that's amazing for you. Do you feel when we're talking about like inner child, right? Do you feel like a lot of that helped you heal your inner child getting back into it? Like, so what were ways that you got back into it?
I don't know. It was just like a calling that I picked up tarot cards, and I was just like, let's do this.
I saw it unfold naturally.
Yeah.
Like more and more she started getting into the occult arts, and me personally, I was still I feel like operating from a place of lack for up until like very, very recently. And so to me, it was like, oh, okay, that's something that you could pick up.
It's like a hobby.
But now that I see it, it's like, bro, you're doing what you want to do.
Yeah.
Like you're doing something that makes you happy and fulfills you. So
yeah, and one day I do want to go back to school and get my degree in psychology so that I can help others in a more clinical setting, but also like I want to normalize that the spiritual and the physical realm coexist, and they are very much real. And sometimes what we're feeling in the physical body is actually also tuned into the spiritual as well. And so I think a space where that could potentially be something that is mainstream more and be able to talk about would be magical.
Eventually it will be.
Yeah.
I personally think
manifesting.
I personally think that eventually it will be, because life is vast and there's a lot of history in our humanity.
Yeah.
And so I think humanity is eventually ready to discuss those things openly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I heard something about like somatic healing kind of being along those lines, because our emotions do store in certain areas of our bodies, and they do need a release, and you could do exercises and stuff, but that's like still a little bit taboo these days. So yeah. So I'm still trying to figure that out, but yeah, just truly live life as you were when you were a child. Don't be scared to take up space, like Marvin was saying. Allow yourself the space to feel your emotions, throw a tantrum, punch a pillow, scream at a pillow. Just release the emotions that you have in your body. Take deep breaths and be honest with yourself. Be honest with others. And don't fear rejection, because really, truly, thinking about how other people think of you or view you is more time consuming and takes away from you living life as authentic as possible.
Yeah, I wonder if, like, when you're living through that lens,
Mm-hmm.
like, and you act out on it when you're an adult.
Mm-hmm.
I wonder if that's like because you weren't allowed to feel it
Oh,
as a kid.
100%. And you can see it in relationships as well. Like
Mm.
when you were taught, like, don't show too much emotion. And
Yeah,
so
don't
you,
cry.
yeah, don't cry. Then
That's
you
mine.
have a hard time being vulnerable with other people around you. You're having a hard time making friends because you have this idea that they're going to think of you as a crybaby or think of you as somebody who doesn't know how to control their emotions. And vulnerability is such an important part of building relationships. And
True.
that's why we created this third space, I guess. So,
Yeah. Prompts for healing your inner child and parenting yourself. Going back to the one Ira gave me a few months ago, that really, I think it was 2 months ago, that really honestly changed my life. What is one thing you wanted to do as a kid? Or name a few things that you wanted to do as a child, and then write them out, and it'll really get the gears turning, and get you to reflect on some things that you are probably missing out on now.
yeah. And some people don't have a memory of their
You
childhood.
might
So,
not, yeah.
you
Sorry.
can even think about like a time when you felt the most free. And when was the last time you lived authentically? When was the last time you had no fear of the impossible? And if you don't have that, think about what life would look like if you had that freedom or you had that free personality or free spirit available to you. What would you do in one day with that? What are the things that you think you could accomplish? Okay, because even though you're writing this down as like a this is what I would do or this is how I was, you could make that a reality. And if you even want to take it a step further, this is a form of manifestation that I also do where it's called scripting. And you can write down those personality traits as if they already exist within you. And you can say things like, today I went to the gym and I worked out for the first time without fear or shame in my body because I genuinely care about my health, and write out the experience and feelings and emotions that came up while you were at the gym.
One that I was thinking of was, if you wrote out, like, if you don't have it and you're having a hard time, because we do have those blocks sometimes, like, oh, I can't think about when I was happiest, or if you're having like a really hard block, why don't you start like writing a visualization of what you think, like painting a picture like in detail, but with your words, what you think would be like the image of you being happy, and that'd be a good place to start too.
Oh, yeah, 100%. I believe that the physical and the spiritual connect. You can also eat a lot of yellow foods. Yellow foods are associated with the solar plexus chakra. And if this is too woo woo, then you don't have to take it as advice or anything. But yellow foods and the solar plexus is the powerhouse of your core belief and like your playfulness and your ability to be courageous. So you could wear yellow, eat yellow, like bell peppers or even incorporate lemons into your water. Lemon water is such a good thing. And you can also think of it in a way of like your gut health and eating more foods that support that. So, yeah, that's all.
That's so cool.
Thanks, babe.
Yeah, that's awesome. I never really looked into that myself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And because like the colors we wear carry energy, the foods we wear carry energy, everything is energy.
Man, I used to wear so much dark clothing.
It's good. That means you're protecting your energy. Black is
Oh,
not a bad thing, and
okay.
a lot of people think that darker colors carry a negative energy, but really it's the space that you create within those colors. So like, let's say you have black paint on your walls. If the energy in your home is good and the energy is clear where it's not cluttered,
could work.
Yeah, it could work because clutter, clutter is a direct representation of our inner world. And when you have a lot of clutter around, it kind of stagnates the energy and it's kind of blocked. So, yeah.
Yeah, I agree. When I was depressed, my room was a mess, bro.
Yeah.
Clothes everywhere.
Yeah. And our closet is a mess right now, and it can be difficult. So
I'm
like,
gonna clean that closet.
Yeah, exactly. And I think of it as a kind of like our closet. Like we're not
fully open.
We're not fully mentally okay, and we're struggling with a little bit of things in our life, but it's manageable.
We all do.
Yep. So thank you guys so much for watching and tuning in. I really hope you guys like this episode because again, Marvin and I are just so passionate about collective healing, and this is something I've always wanted to do.
I hope you guys can get anything from what we're channeling right now and just give it a try. It might sound a little bit crazy at first, but just give it a try, and I think everyone could get something from it.
Well,
and we hope it helps you.
Yeah.
Thank you guys.